All right. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Kicking It Custom. I'm your host, Clayton Gelfand, and I'm joined by my co-host, founder of Stadium Custom Kicks and Royals prospect, Alex Katz, as well as Stadium Custom Kicks head designer and Cardinals prospect, Evan Mendoza. So we are really excited to bring this new type of content to you. We will cover a variety of topics relating to sports, all things custom kicks, and we will even have some cool guests on, so stay tuned for that. To our followers listening, if there's anything specific you want us to talk about or a certain guest you want to hear on our podcast, drop a comment or tag them in the comment section below. So today's episode is called Changing the Game, where we will talk about how Stadium Custom Kicks came to be and what Stadium Custom Kicks are doing for sports. So I'll start this with Alex, being the founder. So what gave you the idea to start the company?
Yeah, so I was with the Chicago White Sox originally. That was the team that I was drafted by. And obviously with team rules and the team colors, we pretty much had to wear solid black cleats. And I was in high A ball at that point. So I was pitching in front of maybe 4,000 or 5,000 fans at most. And then later that winter, after my first full season, I played for Team Israel in the World Baseball Classic qualifier and then was invited to play for Team Israel in the main World Baseball Classic tournament. I thought it was the perfect opportunity to get some custom cleats for myself. Pitching in front of the world stage, 60,000 fans. I think it was perfect timing to get some cool looking cleats. So I met up with a friend back home and we worked on the cleats together. And I got the idea of posting them on Instagram and maybe even creating a new page on Instagram. And I posted my shoes, got all friends and family and teammates to follow us. They wanted to order. And the rest is basically history. It started as a joke, kind of turned into a hobby. And now we have a team of 9 artists and, an amazing group of people helping out.
Yeah, definitely. So what do you think your favorite thing is about this job? I know, being a minor league player, you're juggling 2 things right now, but, what do you love about being the owner of Stadium Custom Kicks?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have my plate full, doing, a little bit of everything. Even during the off season when I'm home, I'm painting a little bit. But I'd say my favorite part is just collabing with other people and even collabing with Evan on cool designs and really using my creative mind to come up with cool designs and unique stuff that other customizers or other shoe
Right.
companies haven't done before.
Right. And that kind of leads me to the next thing of what's a blank cleat without a design? And, that's kind of where Evan comes in, his creative ability and his skills. He creates the concepts for a lot of the shoes and cleats that we put out. So Evan, would you be able to explain concepts, kind of how that came to be, how you were able to garner the skills to effectively design and shoes at scale, really?
Yeah, so I've always been like a really creative person, I believe. I always liked art growing up and through middle school, high school, enjoyed art, design, all that stuff. It was actually starting in 2012 when I did my first mock-up. I took inspiration from Adam Jones, one of his zebra cleats on his Nike Swingman models, and I wanted to paint my own Under Armour cleats. It was kind of a off-brand, but either way, I wanted to paint my own cleats. So I actually painted my own cleat in 2012. I wanted to see what color looked good, where the zebra print would have looked good. And to do that, I turned the page to Photoshop. So I used Photoshop to mock up my own image of the Under Armour. I think it was like the Yard cleat or something like that. I don't know exactly which one it was, but it was a cleat I never really wore. So I was like, if I mess this up, I don't really care. I did it in my high school team colors, which is black and orange, same thing as Adam Jones with the Orioles. And basically it took off from there. I remember DMing Alex and basically saying, hey, how much would these, I think they were Jordan 11, Louis Supreme collab, like cleat print. And basically they were wondering how I did that mock-up. And I was like, hey, if you need someone on like the design side, I would be more than willing to help. And that's kind of how we started. Alex and I's relationship took off from there, and it's been a fun experience.
Yeah, it seems like a really good fit. And just within the last few months, you guys have been putting out design after design, new releases, which has been super cool and engaging for all of the people following along in the custom kit community. But of all of the concepts you created so far, or maybe ones you haven't even created. What is your favorite, or what are you looking forward to doing in the future?
I think one of my favorites were probably the Yeezy design that we did on the Audi Zeros way back. Those were fun because I remember, I think it was right near Black Friday 2019, I believe, and maybe 2018, I can't remember, but we released those and it seemed like no one had ever thought about that idea of putting like a shoe idea on a cleat. Obviously people like glued on the cleat onto like a Jordan 1, but not many people were really thinking about putting an idea of a cleat, or I mean of a shoe on a cleat. So once we did that, we obviously saw a big deal of attention towards like the zebras and stuff like that of the Yeezy collection, and those were fun. But personally, I like the Witherspoon Nike Hirachis that we just recently released, maybe a month ago or something like that. Those were a cleat that I always wanted to keep in my back pocket for if I ever made like an all-star game or something like that in the show, or maybe like Players Weekend, which I'd be really happy to do.
Yeah, and who knows, that's a real possibility, bro. So that's coming. That would be a cool to wear your own concept and wear your favorite one of all time. Alex, I want to go back to you, and I want to know what makes you different. What makes Stadium Custom Kicks different than other customizers out there?
Yeah, I think one of our main goals is to disrupt the footwear industry, especially the custom footwear industry, because most customized out there is just one person basically doing everything, from painting the shoe, getting the orders and marketing themselves. So we make it so that, each person involved is basically focusing on what they enjoy doing. So Evan enjoys doing concepts. Our artists love painting. So our artists don't have to worry about marketing themselves or even trying to get orders. So they could really put all their attention and their focus into putting out a quality product and doing what they really enjoy. And, as we grow, we're able to add more awesome, amazingly talented artists to the team. So I believe we're heading in the right direction, and we're doing something different than what's currently being done in the footwear industry. And, having artists throughout the country and of different that specialize in different designs, it just adds value to our company, because, if a player in Seattle, needs something done super quick, we have Andrew over there who can, who can squeeze a shoe order in, and that person doesn't have to mail the shoe across the country both ways. So logistically and style wise, we definitely have a lot of benefits on our side,
Right.
especially since each artist focuses on different designs or specializes in different designs. We could pretty much cover everything. So now you're not,
Right.
One customizer, a company or a customizer, with just one artist. They might only specialize in that one design. So that customer wants something, but that artist isn't really good at it or doesn't really work with that design.
Right. So you have 9 different artists, and they all have their different techniques that they specialize in, and you can really do any design that someone wants because you have an artist for that. And that's cool. And there are great customizers out there, but with Stadium Custom Kicks, you get a wide range of talent, which is super unique and something different about your business model. And just kind of to conclude, Alex, and then I'll ask Evan. What does changing the game mean to you? What does the custom kicks mean to sports and the future of sports and the future of culture combining with sports?
Yeah, so I'm going to talk mostly about the pro side of things. We obviously don't limit our customer base to just professional athletes. Some customizers have asked that in the past, but we're pretty open about it, and we try to promote that we love to work with anyone. We don't limit ourselves to anyone, any gender, any location, any sport, nothing like that. We like to cater to every individual. But as far as disrupting or changing the game, I think to us that means just growing the unique factor of footwear in sports and in sports in general. I think players are really trying to brand themselves, and you've kind of seen it. All of us are in the game of sports. you know, and obviously fans of sports as well. And we see lesser talented players or lesser known players or players in smaller markets branding themselves based on their style and the way they go about their business. So I think if you know, some players focus on their style, obviously focus on their game, that, you know, the quality of game and how they produce on the field is most important. But I think that goes hand in hand without, you know, how they market themselves. And if a solid player, a quality professional athlete, has some cool shoes or some sort of unique factor to them, I think that's going to grow their personal brand in an upward direction.
Right. And, you know, something today that happened was Darren Rovell posted the King Felix shoe collab that you guys are doing right now. And the thing he said in his tweet was, you know, that he doesn't have a signature shoe line, but now he does because he was able to create it himself through you guys. You know, and that's unique is now athletes can have their own shoe line because they can go to a guy that, you know, a Stadium Custom Kicks and create exactly what they want, you know, and sell them in all sizes, women's, kids, and adults. And they can appeal to the fans that love them so much. And that's what King Felix really did is, you know, he has a loved by so many in Seattle, and he understands he needs to continue to brand himself after the game. But now going to Evan, and maybe you can touch on more of the culture side, Evan, because, you know, you really love your shoes. What does changing the game mean for you?
I think changing the game, it's everybody's aspect of or perspective of who baseball players are. I think basically just to re-emphasize that we are people and we have our strengths outside of the game. So we have things that we like to do as hobbies. We like to do, personally for me, creativity is a huge thing. So there's other things that I enjoy in this life other than playing on the baseball diamond. Obviously, but playing on the baseball diamond is number one, and that's what I'm going to enjoy for forever. But I enjoy being creative, using my mind, distracting myself from my baseball-centric world that I live in. So to be able to bring that style that Alex was talking about, basically of like streetwear onto the field, like baseball doesn't have to be a black and white game where it's no style, no fun. Like let's spice up the kicks, spice up the cleats, the turfs, the pregame shoes, all that stuff, because that brings more eyes to the game. And every baseball player should know that we're trying to constantly grow the game of baseball and get more eyes on us. So I think that's what changing the game means for me.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I really relate to that. And, you know, with that, episode 1 is in the books. Everyone stay tuned for our next episode. That will be coming soon. Might even have some cool guests. We'll let you know. So to those listening, we look forward to continue changing the game with you and growing the Custom Kicks community. All right. That's just how we ended, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. You got to ask
I think
Evan.
over time we'll get good at editing and making it like a more formal beginning and not necessarily more formal,